Although signing in with a username and a password is better than nothing, it's not the most secure way of providing authentication for a computer system. Multi-factor authentication is becoming increasingly popular. With multi-factor authentication, your user requires 2 or more authentication methods based on something that they are, something that they have, and something that they know. Examples might be biometrics, something that you are, so your retina, your fingerprint. Something that you have might be a digital certificate or smart card, and something that you know might be a username and password. Windows 10 supports digital certificates. A digital certificate is issued by a certificate authority, such as VeriSign or Active Directory certificate services internally in your organization. You can use this certificate to provide proof that the identity asking for authentication is trusted and true, and that the identity offering it is also trusted and authentic. Authentication with certificates involves a public key and a private key that can be matched to provide authentication. If no match occurs, authentication is not provided. Windows 10 also supports biometric authentication. Biometrics provides infinite possibilities for securing a computer, and you can use them as part of a multi-factor authentication plan. Biometric options are generally configured by incorporating a person's fingerprint using a fingerprint reader, or a person's face, or the retina of their eye, or even their voice. Microsoft has made using biometrics even easier than ever by using native support for biometrics through the Windows Biometric Framework, which includes an option in the Settings app for configuring the device on Windows 10 computers. Windows 10 also includes group policy settings that relate to biometrics. Windows 10 supports virtual smart cards. These work in the same general manner as a physical smart card, but they don't require a connected or installed smart card reader. Instead, the virtual smart card works with a Trusted Platform Module or TPM chip installed in your computer. This chip protects the virtual card information through encryption. As with other more advanced security options, you'll need a public key infrastructure, domain infrastructure, complete with certificates, and the ability to create and manage them to incorporate this technology. Virtual smart cards provide the following: authentication protection, confidentiality of the computer and its contents, private keys for security, encrypted card information that can't be mined or removed, that is, it can't be exported, protection from rogue software that attacks at startup, multi-factor protection using smart card and PIN. The following are required in order to implement virtual smart cards. Your computers must run Windows 8 or newer. Each computer must have a TPM of 1.2 or later installed. The PIN and the PIN unlock key must be a minimum of 8 characters. To configure virtual smart cards in a domain environment, use the following procedure. First of all, create a certificate template on a Windows Server 2016 server computer. Create the virtual TPM smart card, which is a 4-step process using the TPM VSC mgr.exe command line tool. Enroll the certificate on the TPM virtual smart card by using the Cert Manager MSC console to add the certificate to the personal store. To configure virtual smart cards on a single Windows 10 computer, use the following procedure. Run tpm.msc from an elevated command prompt. This will verify that your computer has a compatible TPM chip. Create the virtual TPM smart card using the TPM VSC mgr command line tool. You can enable biometrics using group policy objects in Windows 10. Open up the appropriate group policy for editing and then navigate to Computer Configuration, Policies, Administrative Templates, Windows Components, Biometrics, and then configure the options shown here. Windows Hello enables your users to sign in by using a biometric authentication system. Windows Hello for Business extends this to use a multi-factor authentication system to sign into Windows 10. Users can use a PIN or biometric sign-in system to sign into their Windows 10 computer. This enables users to authenticate to apps, enterprise content, and online authentication providers. It's worth noting that when Windows 10 first shipped, it included 2 separate authentication technologies known as Microsoft Passport and Windows Hello. These 2 have now combined as Windows Hello to provide for multi-factor authentication. If your computer is suitably equipped, if you open up the Settings app, click Accounts, and then go to the Sign In Options tab as shown on the screen, you'll see appropriate options for configuring Windows Hello, In this instance, you can see a fingerprint reader is available for configuration. So in the demonstration, I'll show you how to configure Windows authentication options. So to configure sign-in options, open Settings, click Accounts, and then for your account, click Sign-in Options. Now, if you've got Windows Hello support on your device, you'll see it available here. This is a virtual machine apart from anything else, so it does not have a compatible device. I can manage my password, or I can choose one of the other authentication methods. I can use a PIN or a picture password. Often I'm asked why a 4-digit or 5-digit PIN is more secure than a complex password. And that's because the PIN is associated with a specific device, whereas the password can be used on any device. So you could have a different PIN for each of your devices. Let's add a PIN right now. First of all, we need to authenticate ourselves by entering the password and then enter the PIN. And then click OK. And then I can sign in using my PIN. If I forget my PIN, I can use my password to authenticate. So let's take a look at how that looks for us. I can now choose sign-in options, and I can choose to sign in with a PIN or with my password. Enter the 4-digit PIN, and we should be in business. Pop back into Settings, Accounts, and Sign-in Options. And we can also use a picture password. That allows us to, as you'll see in a moment, first of all, we need to authenticate with our password. And then we can choose a particular picture. Scroll through and find a picture. Well, let's use the default one. And then, having done that, we can draw a pattern on the screen using our finger. And that would enable us to quickly sign in with a gesture. It's a bit tricky on a VM, so I'm going to click Cancel for that. So we've got a number of options: PIN, sign-in, and picture password, and of course password. And if you have compatible hardware, then you can use Windows Hello. So in the demonstration, you saw how to configure Windows authentication options.